Well, very interesting, really, two presentations that gives us a lot of thinking and a lot of questions. And I, for one, want to start with Anita. Sorry, yeah. Anita, this website of yours, who supports you financially? Why do you do this?
We are crowdfunded right now, so we're trying to figure out how we have financial support moving forward. We are a very small team of 4 people, so that's a good question.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
Tell me, who was the one behind your abuse? Who? Was it the video game people? Was it a government? Was it a group of people? Who was it?
It was thousands of men on the internet. Oftentimes they mobilize around certain online message boards, so 4chan, Reddit, 8chan, where they come together and they find targets and they go after them. So it is very loosely organized. If you look up my name on YouTube, you won't find my videos. You will find thousands and thousands of hate videos harassing and attacking me. Mine are like intermingled in, which is a big issue with Google algorithms. So yeah, it's a loosely coordinated effort by thousands of men and boys online to attack women. And so you may have heard of Gamergate, which my harassment campaign in 2012 was the predecessor to what is now referred to as Gamergate, which is the same group of men that just go after women in the games industry. And there's a frightening amount of parallels between the mentality of the men who were involved in Gamergate and what is now called alt-right, which is just white supremacy, and the rise of Trump in the U.S.
You referred to you losing your humanity.
Yeah.
How did you come to do that? I mean, what does that mean in practical terms?
I think we are told as women online, both by those attacking us and by those supporting us, that we need to toughen up and that we need to grow thicker skin. And in order to do this work and maintain, that's how you have to do it. And that the sad reality is that is what you have to do. Like every woman journalist in this room has hardened in some way in order to do their work and in order to maintain in this kind of climate. And I think that that's awful. I think that the fact that we have to do that in order to maintain is a tragic cost. Yes. And I, I talked about trying to regain my humanity in a lot of ways, but like I'm still hyper vigilant. It's not like that goes away. I still, my heart races every time someone comes up to me on the street because I'm like, are you going to hurt me or not? Even though, so.
Sure. Of course, sadly, it will stay with you as well for a while at least. I want to come to you. This is a very interesting thing that you are talking about, and I'm quite familiar with the story of Khadija, as my daughter, who's a barrister, actually defended her and got her out of jail. So it's another story about another woman, and I'm proud to be, it's my daughter to say. And I just want to ask you, you are from Sarajevo. When you went into this job, you must have known what it's going to entail. And going after despots like the Azerbaijani president or Montenegro, I mean, you must have known. What made you still go into it? Is it just pure passion, or?
Actually, you said it right at the very beginning. You're born to do this job. There is no other way. You don't become, especially investigative reporter, by making a choice and saying I'm not going to work hard. You just have to have that passion and that determination. And no, I had no idea of how much world will change from the time I actually started to now. Sarajevo seems like a perfectly stable and safe place to work compared to countries like Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan and Tajikistan, where the moment you come, you're surveilled by the Secret Service. People who work with you, who talk to you, get jailed on trumped-up charges. Their family members get arrested. They lose jobs. I mean, those are the things that people in these countries are facing. I know, at least for now, in my country, nobody's going to jail my mother because of the work I do.
It's interesting that also you mentioned the EU, and you seem to be rather disappointed with the EU. And Can you elaborate a little bit on this? What do you want the EU to do?
Well, I think we should call the things the real name. You know, if you have a dictator running a country for 20-something years where journalists get killed, and you don't call them as a successive example of a country that is ready to join EU. You call them what they are, and you demand a change. So we need to stop being hypocrites and, you know, try to please everybody and say, well, you know, they have done one thing which is good, so we are going to forgive everything else they do, because then is what you have is a Turkey which is going to, you know, overnight just jails 150 journalists.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I think, you know, at the EU, the lack of unity between the countries, you clearly see a difference between Western Europe and Eastern Europe. And it's just not only on legislation towards journalists, but also in foreign policy and defense and other issues, which leaves the EU a lot to answer, really. I know we're supposed to have the catch box. I might not do it now simply because we're running a little bit short of time, but maybe a little bit later we can play again. So let's see if we can do that. Thank you very much. Thank you both very much. Thank you.